Hi, I'm Stephanie Weinstein.
And I'm Meredith Keach.
We have a top-notch real estate team. There's 11 of us at Coldwell Banker in East End. But we don't just do East End. We're all over the place. In fact, we're on the Cape. Today we're in Milton. We are #1 in East End. We don't want to brag, but we're everywhere.
We're licensed in New Hampshire and Rhode Island, too.
Yep. I have my Rhode Island license.
I've seen that.
FYI. I can't see, Rick. Your thing's in my way.
Oh.
Down here. Anyway, we have two exciting guests.
Welcome, Rick and Casey. Woo!
On the show. So Casey is a wreck.
Yeah.
This is the first time
He's sweating.
He's sweating. He doesn't know what we're going to talk about. Rick is like, I've done this before. Please.
Big podcast guy.
Yeah. Well, they came in. They were making demands. They wanted the cameras angled at them a certain way. They wanted Wi-Fi codes. I said, you guys are exhausted.
Well, they wanted to be connected.
Right. Exactly.
I'd like to start the day with giving Stephanie the floor for complaints. We want to just get that off of her plate.
Oh,
Go ahead.
excellent.
Well, I don't have that many complaints today, except time. I don't have enough time to do anything. I can't get anything done. I had to be out of the house today by 9. My cleaning lady's coming tomorrow, so I have to be out of the house by 9 again. Friday, we're doing a video in on the Cape, and so I have to leave the house by 9 again.
Yeah.
So what is the issue here with the
I
time?
need
Nine
time.
Seems reasonable.
I'm not interested in leaving my house at 9 a.m.
Traffic's awful.
I need time. I like to lounge. I like to have my coffee.
Okay.
I like to scroll on Insta. I like to do my Wordle and Quirtle.
Yeah.
And I just don't have enough time.
I'm with you. I don't have enough
And
time today.
we have so much work to do. We have so much work to do that we have to get all that into.
Yeah.
Where is the video down the Cape? The Barnstable listing?
Yes.
So you're going down there at 9 on Friday?
Yes. And I don't
I
even
think
know.
I'm going Thursday night. I'm going to stay on the Cape.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot you were doing that.
A little bit, if I can, but I'm going to have to go late.
Do you have enough time to stay there on Thursday night?
I do, but I'm not going to get down there till like 9, which
Yeah.
it really kind of blows, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'd rather wake up down there.
So the whole team's doing a video down there, or just you guys and
Daniel? Yeah.
Very nice.
Second part of the series.
Yep.
Excellent.
I like the first one. I saw that.
It was fun, right?
It was good. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Greg's good. Greg is really good.
Oh, yeah. Gregory's so
Your
good.
Britney Spears knife thing was the best thing I've seen. this year.
Hysterical,
I know.
right?
I
It
know.
was so great.
I might copy it. It was so good.
You should.
I have to figure out I might have AJ with knives or something like that.
You totally should.
Yeah.
You should hire Gregory. You should hire Gregory for a day,
Yeah.
I use him.
No, I know, but you should have him follow you around.
I could use help.
We
I could
were-
do that.
You should do like a mortgage 30-second, like your day.
You know
I
which
could do
one
like
I
a
want?
content day.
I want, but I got to get them to look at it. Have you guys seen the videos, the ASMR ones with there's a woman who like touches a Bentley and she'll like tap on the windshield and touch the steering
Yes.
wheel. And then
What does ASMR stand for?
I don't know, but it's this.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it'll flash to a police officer doing that with his cruiser.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do that, but we'll see. I don't know if we can do it in new construction.
Oh, right.
Yeah. 'cause
Maybe.
How far along are those?
What they framed, right?
I don't know.
So could I get Gregory to come for like a day?
Yes, you should hire him for the day.
And just
Great.
do like a bunch of content, change my
Yes.
clothes a couple of times so I look like it's in different stuff.
100%.
Get 'em up, and then post it over the next month.
So, Rick and Casey, tell us
100%.
a little bit about what you do, who you work for, right? Because
Who
we're all part
are
of we
you?
hung out together at the Breakers, the Coldwell Banker, G-Rate, amazing fun event.
Yep.
And so tell us about your teams and all that fun stuff.
Sure. So my name is Rick Harrington. I'm with Guaranteed Rate. It's my 22nd year doing this with the Coldwell Banker platform.
Awesome.
So it was great being down at the Breakers with you guys, all the top producers. So that was a great group for me to be with. We actually kind of learned a lot from each other. It was good to get to know people more. One of the things that I like about our platform is that we probably have the most high technology. So we are able to close loans faster than everybody else, but with like a more personal touch than a lot of other banks have. We have a really broad spectrum of products, great rates, and at the end of the day, we're going to get the loan closed, and I think that's what everyone's goal is.
Right.
Boom.
Boom.
That's the
Mic
most
drop.
important part.
But I have to correct you on something.
Okay, what do you got?
You said guaranteed rate.
Yep. Guaranteed Rate Affinity is where I
It's a different
particularly
company.
am. And that is the relationship with Coldwell Banker that we share.
Isn't
So
that
it's a joint
wonderful?
venture.
Yes, so your loan officer matters, folks.
Yeah. Oh my God. Does it
Alexa
matter?
is in a nightmare right now. She's the selling agent, but the buyer, it's a whole nightmare with a condo and the septic, and it's unbelievable. And the loan officer is from out of state, so he doesn't know about Massachusetts septic laws,
Really?
and it's just been a freaking nightmare.
Was that the only offer on the property? That why did they accept someone to
Oh
out of
no,
state
there was multiple.
loan officer?
You know what, Casey? We're not going there right now.
Okay. So anyway,
Okay, the point is, okay, the point is, you need a local lender. You need to work with your real estate agent's preferred lender.
You need to work with Rick.
And you need to
Yeah.
work with Rick Harrington.
100%.
I think now when the market is kind of in like a little bit of a situation where things are kind of in flux, it's more important than ever to work with someone super reputable and local. Because when rates are moving as fast as they have, it really matters what type of product you're putting things with. And to be working with an online bank or a bank that's not in the area with different rules, just like you said, they don't understand what we're up against.
Yes. I
They have
so
no
agree.
idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel like the market's. Well, wait, Casey, Shaughnessy.
Casey Shaughnessy.
I'm Casey Shaughnessy. I work with
Casey,
Coldwell
do
Banker.
you have a middle name?
Casey James Shaughnessy.
Casey James. What an amazing name.
Casey James.
Casey James.
Daughter
Wow.
Sydney James. Just
Sydney
keeping it
James.
flowing. Yeah, just great.
Oh, I love that.
Great names. Thank
That's
you.
great.
So I work with Coldwell Banker in the Back Bay. I've been with Coldwell since 2017. 6 years.
Yep.
6 years at Coldwell. 9 years in the business. Worked at Dorchester before that. So I have a team over there, Casey Cochran and myself, the Shaughnessy Cochran Group. We met back in 2017.
He's legit.
He's the Casey's like the Jills.
Yeah.
Yep, we were the Caseys, and then the Jills sent us a cease and desist letter up here to the Northeast and said, "You guys are becoming too big. Think of a new name." So we lost the Caseys, and now we have we have a great team. We have Lily Smith and Kelly O'Shea working with us now. So we kind of South Shore, City, kind of all over the place. Out of the Back Bay. So it's been good.
I feel like city agents are tougher.
Yeah, we got a little bit
Yeah,
more.
you guys are
A little
mean.
more edge. Me.
Well, I don't know. If it's
Us country bumpkins, we're so nice to work with. You guys are mean. You're like,
I don't know. If
you are 1 minute late. This
See,
showing is canceled.
I don't know if it's necessarily like meaner. I think it's just like maybe a little bit more hardened, like dealing with like people in the city. Because in general, again, maybe people are in the city are meaner, so maybe you become a little bit more hardened, and then that comes off like when you meet people from the country bumpkins.
Realtors.
Yeah, it's definitely a different agent in the city, I think.
Yeah,
It is.
but I would say that you guys don't fall into that category. You guys got some edge to you though.
Yeah, well, that's just, I think, probably years in the business,
Yeah,
right? Like, same thing. You get slapped around a little bit and you wise up pretty quick.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And so Rick and I, we met each other in 2017, and like you said, it's good to work with a preferred lender. So he's in our office, Coldwell partner. So it's been great working with Rick, as the Coldwell Banker kind of lender
Now,
there.
do you only refer to Rick or do you refer to anyone else? What would happen if you referred to
How many
someone else?
people? How many people hear this podcast?
Only about 2.
So to be completely honest, I had I do work with a lot of great lenders and great attorneys, but I've kind of narrowed down the list of attorneys that I work with on a regular basis. And to be honest, like referring my buyers to someone, I really only refer them to Rick, and then kind of like let him navigate here. If he thinks that like a portfolio lender or something like Washington Trust is ultimately going to be a better opportunity for them, like I trust him to have that conversation with them. But I think it's tough. I think the nice part about working with someone like Rick at his mortgage broker, he has so many opportunities and so many different products that it's kind of like a one-stop shop there. And I trust Rick enough at this point that he's going to lead my buyer in the right direction. And he sometimes doesn't even close their loans because he thinks that if they have enough money to create a relationship at a First Republic kind of RIP or Washington Trust, like he's going to put them in that direction. So that's kind of and he's my boy. So
Well, you guys, aren't your desks next to each other?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys go to lunch together?
yeah, we steam together, we eat breakfast together, we
Do you
drive.
go mudding together?
We got we're at Marabou together once a month just for
Breakers together?
Yeah,
Right.
Just a little, yeah. So I spend more time with Rick than I do with my wife.
I'm trying to think. If I had a city buyer, the times that I've had city buyers, I've taken them myself. But at this point, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably refer them.
Right.
But would you refer out if you were going out like towards Easton, or would you take? It's probably.
So
I think it's easier here than navigating the waters than it is in the city.
I think so as well, and I think to a certain point, I think that we would probably refer out like to like Southborough, maybe somewhere like outside 495.
Yeah.
Just from a distance perspective, it becomes kind of like time consuming. I just don't have enough time. You know what I'm talking about.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I think a lot of agents from the city would. I grew up in Hanover, so
Okay.
I'm from the South Shore area.
Yeah.
Kind of have my bearings on this area, but I will say as I've done more in the South Shore, and depending on who the client is and what the demographic of that client is, if it's a friend of mine has owned a couple condos, now him and his wife, her and her husband want to move, single family home, maybe one kid that's like a year or 2 years old or a kid on the way.
Yep.
I think that's easier to do. The thing that I have noticed, and I don't like to put my foot in my mouth, is when it comes to the school districts and the different towns like that, I think it could be pretty advantageous to maybe refer out to work with someone who's a little bit more familiar with the area, because once families are involved and things like that, you don't want to steer someone in the wrong direction. And I don't know the school districts in all the suburbs.
We don't
Right.
steer.
Right. Take that back.
What did I say?
Edit. Steer.
Steer?
Yeah, we don't steer.
Oh,
No steering.
That's
No steering.
Anti-steering.
anti-steering.
Yeah.
We're not steering anybody.
We don't steer.
No, we don't steer.
So you know what I mean. Though.
Yeah.
We steer, but we don't steer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I had to go show in Back Bay. I'm not sure.
Excuse me.
Number one, I
but-
can't drive there anyway.
Right. Well, I was
My car
petrified.
can't
I had
fit.
my clients wanted to see things at the Ritz.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah, that was fun.
Did you go in?
Of course. I'm like, Alexa.
You sold them $1 million condo.
Yeah. They said, we'll take it.
Really?
Yeah.
Cash,
Great.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
What'd they get for $1 million at the Ritz?
They got something. It was just a 1-bedroom. It was for their daughter going to college.
Those are the best types of clients.
Need more of those.
She didn't want to live in the dorms.
I mean, that's great.
And
where was this buyer from? Was this a social buyer, international buyer?
no, it's a friend.
Ish.
Ish.
A better friend now.
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, it was through my parents. It was their friend's daughter. But anyway, so and I had sold a few houses for her family. But so she called me when they were looking at the Ritz.
Yep.
And so when you move into the Ritz residence,
Yeah.
guess what you get to do? You get to call for room service.
Well, I think the W has that too. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
Nothing.
But
There's a
his
button or a call,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you don't do nothing. You don't have to do.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So this
Very
young
different
college,
lifestyle.
I mean, when I went to college, I don't know about when you guys went to college, but I was not living at the Ritz calling for room service.
I think it's safe to say a majority of people are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was
great, though.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, the agents there were just like, preppy like you guys,
They're a
dressed
tough
to the
crew.
nines. Like the agents out here, like, I'm not sure. We used to really dress.
We have to remind sometimes.
Yeah.
Dress up.
I was gonna wear a suit today. I didn't know what to wear. I was nervous. I had
I really wish you
4
would have called.
outfits on
I
this
would have told
morning.
you full suit. We all dress to the nines here. We do not dress. This is
Yeah.
what we roll in.
Yeah.
We roll in on 2 wheels.
Well, I mean, generally speaking, business is now business casual.
yeah,
Yeah,
everything's
100%.
casual.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, I have a blazer. I wore it the other day, but that's like dressed up.
Special
Yeah.
occasions.
Yeah, why were you so dressed up the other day?
I love a blazer.
I saw myself in a jacket on the show, and I was like, oh, that looks better than just a shirt. So
Oh.
I've been wearing jackets.
Oh, that's a
This
jacket.
is a jacket. It's
Yeah.
a little big, but yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the rates?
Sure.
And since we have an expert in the room,
Yeah.
because around
It's
here,
fine.
here,
It's all good, folks.
things are stalling
Stop
out a little bit.
freaking out.
You know, like when you're driving your car and all of a sudden it stalls.
Yep.
It putters.
You know, like if you got like you're 17 and you got that kind of car
Right.
and you're like, what is going on? That's how it feels right now. And it's October. It's not doomsday, right? Because the market changes constantly, but give us some predictions here.
I think there's two things to consider when you're talking about the interest rates right now. Obviously, they are higher than anyone's been used to in a long time, right? No doubt about that. But I think that people are confusing two things. The market is stalling out a little bit because people are definitely getting assimilated to the new rates and kind of understanding the differences in their buying power now. But there's also just a lack of inventory, right? And no one is going to be selling their houses when they're locked in at the 2s and 3s to upgrade or downgrade even. Why would you even downgrade?
That's
downsize.
Me.
Yeah.
2.5,
Why
10
would
year.
you even downsize?
Thanks a lot, Meredith.
To
Hurting the economy as usual.
To the 8s, right? So I think it's not. I think there's still a huge demand to buy. There's still people
Agreed.
who want to buy.
Agreed.
But I think the lack of inventory is what people are confusing with people. I think people are confusing that with the fact that they think they're terrified with the rates and they're not, because rents are super high.
Right.
And they're not coming down, right? So even with your mortgage payment in the 7s and 8s, I have to be honest, you compare it to the rents, it still makes sense to buy around here, right? And so we are going to see that correct when inventory corrects itself. Personally speaking, I don't think inventory corrects itself or rates really decrease for another 12 to 15 months.
You think that long?
I do think it's gonna be long.
Yeah, that's what someone else had
That's
said.
not
that
horrible.
Yeah, they said, and next year's an election year, so it'll be volatile.
It will, and the rates will improve with an election year. They always have. If you look at like a 40-year historical chart of that. But I think what's important to remember is because things around here are so strong fundamentally in terms of employment and such, that when rates do correct themselves and reduce even to the high 5s or low 6s, I think you're going to see a huge demand. And I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I think so. I think
so.
the spring,
I personally
I
kind of hate the whole marry the house, date the rate thing because it sounds a little cheesy. But I do believe if you kind of tolerate a crappy rate for a year and a half, and just refinance, and when it's normalized, you're going to be so much better off buying now, getting the house you want, dealing with a little bit higher payment, and then refinancing, and then you avoid the frenzy.
We need a tagline.
Buyers should be asking for a temporary buy
down. Yeah, the 2-1 buy down is a really powerful tool in certain price
or
points.
even a point or two, right? Like just ask for that instead of a reduction in price.
So can you talk about the 2-1 buy down in nursery school?
Yeah, absolutely.
terms?
I'll break it down in really, really simple terms, right? So a 2-1 buy down is if you look at the note rate of what you're closing a mortgage on. For example, say your note rate is 7%, right? You lock in at a rate of 7%.
Yeah.
A 2-1 buy down means the first year of your mortgage, the first 12 payments, are going to be reduced by 2%. And the second year, your note rate is going to be reduced by 1%. So if you lock in at a rate of 7%, for the first 12 payments, you're going to be paying a rate of 5%. For the second 12 set of payments, you're going to pay a rate of 6%. Right?
And why would we do this? Why would we do it?
And what if rates go down in between all this?
You can still refinance at any point. And the beauty of the buy down is that it's funded by the seller.
Brilliant.
Yep.
So the seller gives a closing cost credit instead of reducing the purchase price of their house. By that amount. And if you give a credit of say $13,000, $14,000, the buyer gets the benefit of having that low payment for the next 2 years. And with a little bit of luck, and I think it makes sense, you could potentially refinance out of this and get that lower rate. So it allows you to get in the property for the first 24 months at a reduced monthly payment.
Because for everybody,
it's brilliant.
It all comes down to a monthly payment. If
That's
you're
it.
buying with a mortgage, it's all about the monthly payment.
Right.
And if you haven't been doing this for very long, buy downs really haven't been common for a while.
Right.
So anyone who's only been in the industry 12 years has never had an experience with buy downs.
I never had an experience.
Right.
I've only been doing it for 12.
Yeah. So I was doing buy downs back in like 2005, 2006 when it was a very common product. So it's
there were
something
lots of funky products.
There was lots of funky stuff back then. Absolutely. So definitely seen the whole spectrum, but it's a really good thing to get into, especially, knowing that you can refinance at any point and the seller is paying for it. So it's not like it's money out of your pocket.
Right.
So it's a really powerful tool.
Would you do an adjustable right now?
I would, yes.
Yeah.
What are the rates right now for adjustable?
Low 6s, mid 6s.
Oh.
Which is a lot better than 8.
Is it 8 right now today?
Yeah, it really is. The national average is like 7.9.
So I'm going to close on a home equity next week.
Mm-hmm.
So explain a home equity. So I pay 8%, it goes down, I pay the lower. Like, how does it
So
work?
a home equity line, you have to remember, is going to be different than a mortgage rate, right? Because
Yep.
a home equity line is based off the prime interest rate, right?
What does
So
that mean?
That's the rate that the government is lending money at, essentially, right? So your prime interest rate is what fluctuates when the Fed meets and they talk about raising or lowering. That's the prime interest rate that gets raised and lowered. For so long, prime was basically 0 to 1 or 2, right? So equity lines at that point were like a brilliant tool. There was like free money, and it still is a good option. The beauty of an equity line is that when you close on an equity line, you're not making any payments on that equity line until you've actually drawn from it. So it's essentially like having a checkbook where, you know, you have this money to use, but you don't make any payment unless you're writing a check on it. So say you buy a used car tomorrow for $10,000 and your interest rate is 8%, you know, you're going to get, you'll write your check out of your equity line book and you will only owe back just the interest immediately. You do not have to pay the principal for 10 years. So you can kind of let that ride, which is great when the rates are low, not so great in a rising interest rate environment. So you can get in trouble. But the beauty of that is it's only $80 a month or something because you're only paying the interest only part. And anytime you pay any extra principal to that, your equity line shrinks back down and your payments reduced for the next month.
Now, there is a school of thought, and for those of us who saw the last downturn, 2008, where people lost houses, they had to short sale. I never worked with anyone who lost their house or had to short sale because of illness or because they had to go to war. I saw it because people they'd do a cash out refi, they'd pull equities, whatever it was, to like go on a trip, to pay for tuition, to buy a motorcycle, and that's where they got over their head. And so there's a school of thought, I'm curious what you guys think of this, that you should only use your equity to do things to add value to your property, like renovation, you know, whatever it is that you're going to do, projects on your house. And that's the only reason that you should pull out an equity. So what do you guys think about that?
So I personally think it depends on the level of sophistication with the client. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful at all. If you have a client that is living within their means and living appropriately, I would far rather see you use your equity line than paying 29% interest on a credit card, right? Because that's what's really killing people at the end of the day. And if you look at like the housing crash that we experienced in 2008 and what we're going through right now, the fundamentals behind it couldn't be more different, right? 2008 was purely caused by a subprime crisis, right? What's going on now with household income as high as it is, with employment is at an all-time low. I mean, we've never had less people not working in the history of the country, right? And employment with a lot of times in a lot of families, you have two incomes coming in, and household income is extremely high. And right now, it can cover what's needed, you know, and people, even with this increased interest rates, that's not really what's holding people back. So I think if you have the right client using it as a tool, I think it's a great tool. It's also an important tool for people to have. Everyone should open an equity line and not necessarily draw from it, because you never know when you're going to need that money. And if you were looking to buy another home without having your home sold, the equity line is the replacement for a bridge mortgage, a bridge financing, which is really hard and really expensive to attain. So having that equity line there gives you the option of making an offer on another property without your home technically sold yet. And that's how so many Americans are making that move, because it's really hard right now to figure out the timing of making an offer contingent or not contingent, and how can you qualify. So having access to those funds is huge.
How much can you pull out?
Depends on the value of your home. The biggest equity line I've seen is $500,000, and the average one is like a $250,000.
So it can be what percentage?
So in terms of the value of your home?
Yeah.
So basically, they don't like to lend out more than 80% of the value of your home. So if you own a house for $800,000 and say you owe $400,000, you have a 50% loan to value, they'll lend you up to another 30% of equity in your house. They like to leave 20% equity in your home.
Got it.
Historically, in the past, when we've gotten into trouble economically, they were lending up to 100% or 90%. So you're not going to see that anymore. So the pendulum's kind of swung in the other direction, and now they're requiring more equity to be in the home.
Okay, another question for you guys. Sorry. Another problem that I saw is when people double their mortgage payments, right? So people say then you pay off your loan quicker. So when the market turned, last one was 2008, what happened, people lost more money. They lost the extra money that they were paying in their mortgage, right? Mm-hmm. So if your mortgage every month is $1,000, people were paying $2,000, right? And so that they could pay down that mortgage. But if their house was worth $500 and then we saw a dramatic value drop, right? All of a sudden it's worth $450. That's $50,000 that they just lost. And so all of those additional payments they lost. So what do you guys think about doubling up on your mortgage payments?
I mean, it depends on the interest rate, right? I mean, like I have a 2.5% 30-year fixed mortgage. So like, I mean, for me personally, my all-in payment's like $3,400 a month, like for principal, interest, and tax. I would never use my after-tax dollars right now to make another $3,400 payment because I mean, the money is essentially free. And I mean, I'm not like a economist, but like from a financial perspective, I would rather keep that money in my household or use it for, you know, other purposes at that low interest rate. So I think the people that are locked in a while ago,
yep,
absolutely. But I think honestly now, I think at 8%, it wouldn't be great for someone to even double down that payment because the payment is so high that they should be keeping that money in their pocket to get ready for when they need to, you know, refi. And I mean, money is becoming a little bit tighter across the board and you don't know what the future holds. So, I mean,
also totally depends on the age of the client.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Based on how many working years they've left, how much money they're making, if they have a plan to retirement, are they looking to slow down? I think a lot of people historically are super conservative and debt adverse, right? So they don't want debt. And I used to actually have that way of thinking just because that was kind of how I was raised, to be honest, is thinking like, oh, pay it off. You don't want it. And now I have my houses literally maxed out and leveraged because I have them at such low interest rates so that I'm saying to myself, if I can invest that money and get a return higher than 2%, I'm at like 2.25 on one of my houses right now. So I have that absolutely maxed out and I have all the money that I would normally pay that down in a savings account earning 5.75 right now, not even at risk, right? So for me to have that money there, but if you're not able to be conservative like that and have that type of money, then it's a different person that should be trying to pay it down more aggressively.
What do you think, Steph?
This is a lot.
You hate these types of conversations.
I really am falling asleep. I don't know what's going on. I will say, though, I have my home equity line. It's there. I haven't used it. And why, you ask? Because I'm too cheap.
Well, but you're doing a major thing.
Well, no, I mean, I'm getting all new windows.
Did you hear that? All new windows.
Yeah,
I feel like you've been renovating your place. You didn't do the lower level in that place?
I did the lower level, but that really wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
And the windows, it's free financing.
Well, you have Tony
for
around
10
there
months.
I feel like you have Tony around there doing everything.
Need my master bath. I mean, my primary bath is so bad. It's 30 years old.
Yeah.
I have a yellow tub.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's draw some money on that home equity line.
I'm too cheap.
Let's get you a freestanding tub here.
You know what happens is we dream and then we get distracted and stall out, right? Like you dream. But I am making it happen.
But you're in a different situation. You're in a house. You're in a house, right?
Yeah.
So it's that. So you should be doing all those things.
Well, I think you should be doing the same with a condo.
Yeah, but
that's your home.
I know. But our stairs are falling apart, and now I'm going to have an assessment, or we have to take out an $18,000 loan per unit. We're doing. So it's just a mess. And you have to be careful with a condo because they can only sell for so much. Whereas Meredith's single family home, everything she does to it, she's adding more and more and more value.
Well. Yeah, but
my condo can only sell for so much. Where it's located, it's only worth.
I kind of feel like you're making excuses right now.
All right, fine, I'm cheap.
Yeah,
I want to keep my money.
Yeah. I respect that.
And I'll say
keep using that yellow tub.
Tub's not killing you.
It's disgusting, though, you guys. I have to.
There's nothing better than having a renovated bath.
I know,
really,
and it's not that hard. It's not even that big.
Awesome.
So you don't think in the condo townhome that you're in, you don't think that you'll get dollar for back if you renovate that primary bathroom?
Well, now that we're getting new stairs and I know it's going to be pretty outside, then I would.
I don't think you need to put in a $40,000 bathroom.
You
could put in a $5,000 bathroom.
Exactly. Just make it clean.
Just get a clean tub.
It's a vanity, a new tub, toilet.
That's all it is, folks.
Really.
That's all it is. It's really not a big deal here.
Yeah.
But I think you make a good point that I think a lot of people are scared of doing that. They think it's a bigger project.
Well, people do over-improve.
Oh, totally.
And I think...
Weren't we just talking about someone who over-improved something?
Yeah, but we can't talk about it.
Oh, I forget who it was.
We're not going to keep going.
Oh.
But I think if you were to do the whole
Bless you.
thing of taking the wall down,
Oh, the kitchen?
I think that would be too much. I think it would be over improving.
Yeah.
So it has, you walk in, it's a beautiful condo. You walk in, you have a kitchen, wall with a window, and then it opens up to, you know, the living room and dining area. And she's wanted to take the whole wall down and open the whole thing up. And so when I went over, I said, I think number one, it's going to make it too loud in here. You're going to lose this cabinetry, and it's not going to add, you're not adding anything there.
I think the loss of storage in a condo is a huge issue.
Yeah.
And every time you remove a wall, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
The biggest complaint people have with condos is no storage.
And your kitchen is great. I know you hate it.
It's not great.
I mean, how long do renovations last? I see 10 years. What do you guys think?
If you're lucky.
Oh, yeah, before they...
10
Date.
for
You can only get
Before-
10 years out of a color.
Yeah, before you need
yes,
to
yes,
refresh
yes,
again.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
10 years. Right?
Yeah.
So you could also just think about how long am I going to be here?
Right.
And then back that up. Right?
Yep.
And say, if I'm going to be here 5 years, I better get my renovations done now.
How long have you lived in this home?
7? 8?
Yeah.
Are you going to stay there for that much longer?
I don't know.
Well,
Well, let's go slow with it.
I'm still thinking about things.
I mean, have
you
you
know?
guys done renovations on your homes?
Extensive.
Extensive.
While living there, or do you move out?
Done it both ways.
What would you recommend? Because I have a
You
big,
gotta,
huge...
gotta move out.
Okay.
Meredith, move out.
I think
Yeah,
I'm going to have to.
you gotta move out.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
You have a house to move to.
Yeah.
Yeah. With kids, with animals,
She is,
with
yeah.
life, it's hard.
She's got 3 kids,
Yeah.
a giant husband, and a giant dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what are you doing for a renovation?
Full first floor, kitchen, bath,
Oh, you have
hardwood
to-
floors,
Yeah.
fireplace, addition,
How do you-
2-story addition in the back.
You're gone. Yeah, you're gone.
You should definitely stay, Meredith.
I mean, that's what people tell me, and I'm like, I don't think so. I think
tell
I'm
you
going to
to
move
stay.
out.
Those people don't like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
that's
Meredith,
great.
there's no effing way you can stay in that home.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
And
don't
I would
disagree.
give yourself a year.
Maybe. I don't think I'd move out for a year, but, you know,
You better be here for 9 months.
yeah, it's going to be, it'll
Yeah.
be big.
You know, between permits and everything else,
Yeah.
and the workers not showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm excited, though.
When are you starting?
I'm waiting for, well, I could close
What color cabinets are you doing?
I don't know. Haven't done the kitchen yet. In fact, I was just thinking about the island today, whether I want to actually have an island or have a piece of furniture there. I got to talk to Karen about that, designer.
Mm-hmm.
So the architectural plans are being drawn.
You need an island with cabinets in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need a big
And
island.
outlets.
Big island.
Biggest sound you
Well,
can
I don't
People
know.
like the
Okay, so
island.
here's the thing, right? Agreed on all fronts, except I visited a property the other day, which I had sold. Guy had me come back because he's thinking about selling. He's also ghosted me for the last couple of days, which is odd. But he put in a big island, right, with the waterfall side, I think is what they call it. Great. And then there's seating only on one side. And so I was like, wait a minute. You can't sit over here. He's like, no, don't point it out. But that everybody wants to sit over here. And so I had said to the architect, I said, fine, an island sounds good, but I need to be able to have people sit on
Both
all
sides.
sides because this is just, or at
Fine.
least both sides. He was like, no, you can't do that.
Yes, you can. I was going to do
Both sides
that.
of the long side?
Well, at least both sides.
No, both sides of the island. I was going to do that. My decorator said you're going to have chairs on both sides.
Well, if you don't like the water, if you don't need the waterfall,
I don't think I'd even do the waterfall.
you can have
it's not even cool anymore.
you can have
Oh,
it-
it's good. Perfect.
Who's even talking about waterfall?
It doesn't
The last
function.
one.
Well, this house had literally the waterfall and only
Wait,
seating on
waterfall's
one
out?
side.
So have it on 3 sides. You can have seating on
Waterfall's
an
out.
overhang on 3 sides, 4 sides.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want it on 4 sides. You need a flat front on the front part for the cabinets. You know what I mean, for like the drawers. Because if you have an overhang, the drawers will be weird pulling out.
That's what he said, but I still think you need it on all sides.
No, you don't need. You need seating on.
It's weird to me if we would have only seating on 3 sides.
It's weird to me to have seating on an island on all 4 sides. You know what I mean? It looks like a little mush. Like
Okay, so
the top
here's
looks like a
here's the
mushroom.
difference. So the house is a traditional colonial, but
Yep.
all open.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't have walls in between. It's just the stairs in the middle and then all open, right?
I grew up in a traditional colonial.
Okay,
I know it
kitchen
well.
in the back,
Yep.
front to back living room.
Yep.
The addition is going off the back.
What year was it built in?
90.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So kitchen is the addition is just going off the back where the builder deck is. Not huge addition. It's going to extend the size of the living room because that's one of the problems with the house.
Yep.
And so his proposal, which I haven't seen the plan yet, is to put the island in between those 2 rooms. So currently where our kitchen table is, you've got the kitchen and then the kitchen table and the living room in the front.
Yep.
Right? Not using this room on the front because it was turned into a playroom when the kids were little.
Do you have a dining room next to the kitchen?
The playroom in the front
Okay.
that's the traditional dining room. And so he proposes an island in this middle. So it's basically the front to back living room, and the island would go in between that.
Okay.
Interesting. But I just don't like the idea.
I need to see it on paper.
Yeah, that you would not be able to sit on at least 2 sides for sure. And you're saying 3, I think 4. But you think it would make the cabinets awkward.
It wouldn't make any sense.
You'll
you know
lose
what I mean?
access to them.
You'd lose access to like the drawers and things.
Well,
like
you could still go under. You
No.
just might bump your head.
Yeah. So exactly.
I'm confused.
Uh,
Why don't you just do both sides?
Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, whatever. I'll have to move out.
yeah.
Bottom line, you have to move out.
Long and the short, you're moving out.
Yeah.
We've been living with linoleum. So we were supposed to start the renovation in 2020, March of 2020. So I had contractor there, kitchen designer there, and then we got locked down
Yeah.
and everybody was home.
It's a lot.
And I was like, we can't do this now. So the contractors moved to the outside to do some trim work and stuff. And then we all know the rest.
You're going to have a brand new house.
It's gonna be great.
It'd be great.
Every big house I go into, I'm like, Meredith, you need to buy this house.
I want nothing to do with the big house.
Big house is big work.
Yeah.
Well, she has a lot of people, though, and they're big.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Her
I don't
kids
want
are
a big
tall.
house.
How big of a house? I mean,
Meredith's
your
tall.
Your house has to be 3,200 square feet. 33.
2,000.
How?
2,000.
2,000 above grade, and do you have a finished basement, or
Yeah. Yep. A small finished
how's
basement.
it only 2,000 square feet above grade?
Small house.
Yeah, it's small.
Yep.
This is why I keep telling her to move.
Yeah.
I like a small house. I grew up in a big house. There were rooms that weren't used. I didn't like it. I don't like the energy when you go into a space that's not used.
Well, the big houses back then were compartmentalized too, though. So a lot of
Right.
those rooms weren't used.
Yes.
Now things are a lot more laid out efficiently. So
Yeah.
But do your addition. It's going to cost more than you think. It's going to take longer than you think. I'm sure
Yeah.
it won't be stressful.
That's
at
why
all,
I'm saying
so.
give yourself a year. You'll be out of the house for a year.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Where are you going to go for the year? You have another house, or
Well, I want to
She
go to the
does.
apartments up the street.
We won't let her.
These guys are saying
She
no.
has a house, an empty house she can use
where's the empty home?
in Easton.
Oh, you have another empty home?
It's the house I grew up in.
It's her family home.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it. It's kind of weird.
Does anyone live there right now?
No.
Unless you guys just have a little Weinstein Keach flop
Flop
house.
house.
in Easton. Let's go.
Yeah.
I like that.
You better
I
not
don't
give
know.
Daniel and Alexa the keys to that place.
Yeah. It's a great house, too. It's super cool. Contemporary. Has an atrium. 30.
I want to see it.
30 of the large, like just walls of glass, cool.
I wanna
That's
see it.
cool.
Theme living is what I called the 80s. You guys been in theme living
Yeah, I know
houses?
it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rick,
Yep. What do you got for
I'm
me?
having a hot flash.
credit cards.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Scary
What-
stuff.
Yeah. Can you talk to our bazillions of listeners
Mhm.
of should they pay it off? Should they close it? What should they do?
All right. Absolutely. So never close a credit card.
Did you hear that?
I don't care
folks?
who you are and what the situation is. Never close a credit card. If you just have problems where you can't stop using it, cut it up, hide it in a drawer, give it to somebody else to hold on to. But when you close your credit card, you're actually reducing the amount of available credit you have to you, which then lowers your credit score.
But Rick, what if you have these credit cards and you just don't use them? And they end up closing them because you're not using them.
If they close it, it's different. It's not,
different?
It's not as harmful as you closing them. Yeah. What I don't recommend is opening up like store charge cards that people seem to do in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. to save
Jordan's is
10%.
pretty good though, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Kohl's
I love
credit
the
card that
Jordan's
people
one.
order. Yeah.
I
Please
had
don't do it.
lots of those. You just,
Why? I have Jordans.
I love Jordans.
They offer
I have
like
an
good interest-free financing.
Zero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
And so
Right.
you
Like-
just press it, you pay it and forget it.
Yeah,
every
how much do
month.
I do so
Yeah.
that I'm paid off before
like-
the 18 months?
The Gap and Kohl's.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's what I'm
I mean,
talking about.
Kohl's-
Right.
Save 10%
I
off
have
your annual
Gap.
purchase.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even go to the Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kohl's.
Yeah.
TJ Maxx.
I hate Kohl's.
You could save
I hate
$30
That's
right now.
disgusting. I don't shop at Kohl's.
I don't like Kohl's either. Well, I don't like Kohl's. You know why? Because you can't figure out the price.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, they
it's
trick
always
you.
it's smoke and mirrors.
It's
Right.
total
it's
smoke
like-
and mirrors. I'm like, how much is this shirt?
You gotta use the
cannot
scanner
figure
they
it
have
out.
there, you know?
Yes.
Check it
Oh,
out.
oh,
It's,
okay.
it's very frustrating.
All right. So never, ever,
Yep.
ever close a credit card.
Yeah, you want to pay things down to zero, and you also want to try to keep your balances to 50% of the maximum, right? 30% of the maximum would be ideal, but you'll have a significantly improved credit score. If you have a credit card, for example, that has a limit of $20,000, you want to try to keep the balance of that under $10,000, unless you pay it off in full every month, if you're, like you want to do. But try to keep to under 50% of your available credit.
Why do they, what irks me? So I reduced mine. It was up to like 20. I'm like, I don't want this. And I charge it. And then
Meredith made them take away her credit.
No,
I do.
I call my credit cards like,
Reduce
American
it.
Express doesn't have like a limit on it, but like a lot of the other ones, I call and you just ask for increase.
I don't want an increase.
Meredith decreases hers.
Yeah.
So then she gets declined all the time.
No, but from what he's saying though is every once in a while you just update your income, and then you get your utilization up. So the higher utilization you have, and the less you use, that's like 35% of your credit score. And so I mean, like our credit scores are probably very good, but it's just like helping.
Well, I pay mine off.
Yeah.
That's what, by having it less. Yeah, I'll do it until
so me personally, I don't pay it off every month. So like I like to increase it to help the utilization.
Well,
so you're actually keeping your
should
utilization.
we pay off our credit cards? Because
Yes.
Meredith pays hers off every month, and so do I.
Yeah, you should.
But Casey doesn't.
Well, but
I do
So
not.
You know what?
he does. Don't listen to him.
Casey, here's another philosophy too. Instead of having it up higher, if you just reduce it down, then you can pay it off every month, right? So I'll go sometimes and they'll be like, "You got declined." I'm like, "Hang on a second."
Right, I'll go pay
and
it.
I go pay it. Okay, now put it in, and that way
Got declined for what?
Because you're at your max.
I get my
Because
max.
she has her
I'm
limits
at like
lower.
$8,000 or something.
Right.
So
What are you using for a credit card? What's your availability?
I have one. So that was another question. I just have one credit card.
Gotta get an American Express.
It's good to have at least 2 lines of credit.
Well, so
You have
I
one
Bank
single
of
credit card. That's it.
I have one. It's simple for the brain, Casey.
You need
It's
an
simple
Amex.
for the brain.
Yeah.
Well, no. So
The
I've been
black
researching them.
card.
So Bank of America and Bank of America Platinum, whatever that means, it gives you extra advantages, right? And so I want a Bank of America credit card, but I stall out once you start looking at everything. So I don't travel very often, but my girlfriend keeps telling me you've got to get a card that gives you points because you get all these little perks. And so
Excuse
when
me?
we went to the Breakers,
What was I again?
We got,
I kept bragging.
we were Mosaic.
I'm Mosaic on JetBlue.
Are you?
Yeah, so I was panicking
Mr.
over.
Harrington is as well.
Well, I was panicking over my suitcase weight, and the guy goes, "Don't worry, you have up to 70 pounds, and so does your travel partner."
Mm-hmm.
And we
you
got
cut
2
the line.
suitcases each.
Wow.
Yeah.
Checked?
Yeah.
Yes.
You brought 2 check bags for
No, Casey, it's none of your business. One was for shoes, and one was the
The
big
shoes are the
suitcase.
tough part when you
And-
travel.
Yes, and we got to bring 70 pounds apiece, and we got to board first on the plane, of course,
We got exit row,
and
which is nice.
we got free drinks.
All you have to do is charge
Unbelievable.
$50,000 and you can do all of that.
I mean, but I put absolutely
Me too.
100% of every spending on a credit card.
Yeah.
That's what I
Right.
do, which is why I was thinking either I was just going to go for the one with that gives you cash back. And you can do, it's like 3%.
You can Google, there's little sites that'll say like My Credit Card Guys and stuff like this that'll tell you the best cards right now for the type of
It's so
person you
hard
are.
to figure
Like
out.
the
Well,
Cashback,
Matt,
the
what
Chase
kind-
Sapphire is good, the Amex Platinum's great.
Right.
There's a couple different, and the JetBlue with Barclays is great if you fly.
Well-
but if you don't fly, it's of no use.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
the
now
thing.
that I'm Mosaic, I don't need it anymore. I'm already Mosaic.
You
So
gotta
why
keep,
should
you
I
gotta
keep?
keep Mosaic up every year though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you get.
You'll have it till the end of 2024.
Yeah, so you better get-
and then you have to hit. So next year you
like-
have to hit it again.
You better get ready.
It's like-
you better get ready to separate with some of that money next
It's like
year.
we
I
might
mean-
not go to the Breakers next year. So
Oh yeah, everyone at the break is like, "Well, this is our last year, so we
Changing
won't
the
see you next
criteria.
year." Yeah,
So we were actually thinking of hosting a for all the people that don't make it next year. We're actually all going to.
we're in.
We're actually all going to the hotel,
Yeah.
the Ben, and we're going to stay there. Still go to all the restaurants
Yes,
that we all love.
I am in.
I
And-
mean, we need to do that. I'm
Harrington and Shaughnessy will be
devastated.
hosting a roof deck party.
I love
Everybody's
that.
invited.
Yeah, but Rick, you'll probably go. Rick, do you
Rick will be
sleep
there.
at night?
I'm up a lot.
I can't.
Yeah.
There's no
It's
way
busy.
you can turn that mind off
Busy.
because you're
Yeah.
always thinking.
Yeah. Busy guy. But no, I like the Breaker Strip, and I think it's great to get all those people together.
Oh my
I
God,
think
it
it's
was
one
awesome.
of the best things about Coldwell Banker.
Yeah.
The networking you do, the people you meet, the
Yes.
ideas, the idea sharing, and I think it's a great tool, something to work for.
Did we network this year? That was
Yeah, we already got a referral.
we
You
did.
Yeah, and I think I sent one out.
Have you guys been to Gen Blue before?
I did. I went to Gem Blue, New York. I had the best time.
I haven't been to Gen Blue, but I went to the other one.
Oh, you went
week.
to Atlanta? How was it?
It was good. I've never been to Gen Blue.
Good.
Yeah, it was nice to connect.
I'm going to
with
go
people.
next year. We need to go next
They
year.
have great speakers.
I think we should
I know.
all go next year.
Well, the
We
Jills,
had a good
were the
group.
Jills there? I know Jade was there. My friend Jade.
The Jills
My
were
friend
there.
Jade Mills.
What? Where is it next year?
They
We
have
don't
not.
know
They
yet.
have not announced it
They
yet.
come up. Can they pick someplace better than Atlanta? No
Atlanta-
offense
Atlanta
to
was
all
nice.
of our Atlanta listeners.
Well, honestly, it was better than it was Arizona or something
Yeah.
the year before, and
Yeah.
that was just
Yeah.
too like
Too
flight
far.
change,
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
far. The whole thing.
So-
to go
That's
for a
why
couple
New
days.
York was awesome.
I bet.
It was great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it.
I haven't been.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Meredith Keach, shame on you.
Well, I mean,
This is one of the
I've been with the
things that-
company for almost 25 years.
Right.
I've been to these. They were just called something different. In fact, okay, I went to one a long time ago.
Gen Blue?
Well, it was called something different. It wasn't called Gen Blue back then. It was like, I don't know, the whatever you call it. It was something different. But the person who was the keynote speaker, Bruce Jenner.
No way, really?
Wow. So this is a long.
It was at the
time
Heinz.
ago.
Yeah,
You-
this was like
You mean
decades
Caitlyn
ago.
Jenner?
Casey.
Formerly known
No. If he was,
Oh.
if they
Yeah, it was
they
Bruce.
were Bruce
Bruce
Jenner
Jenner.
at the time.
Oh.
Bruce Jenner was
No,
the
he's
keynote
not they,
speaker.
it's he.
Well, I don't know what you want to do on this show. I'm down for that too.
Bruce Jenner was the keynote
Wow.
speaker. Mm-hmm.
Who else? Who did we have in New York?
We had
Oh, Grit, the Grit girl.
The great girl. This year, Shaq was
we had
there.
Shaq.
Oh,
He was,
I have Grit on my book. I'm going to read it by the end
She
of
was
the year.
the keynote speaker.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
excellent.
I've heard it's a slug. Man, I'm reading a slug right now. I'm still reading that same book. I can only read it 10 pages at a time. Have you guys read
You are-
Empire of the Summer Moon?
No, they haven't, Meredith. Why would they ever
the
read
last
that?
book I read was Catcher in the Rye in 7th grade.
Okay, well, Meredith's book, and I don't need to listen to what it's about. Tell them.
It is.
It's about slaughter.
the rise and fall of the Comanche Indians.
I don't need to hear about rape and
And
slaughter.
it is. It's a
a lot.
lot.
It's a lot. It's heavy.
It's heavy. I literally.
Is that what you were reading at the Breakers when you were
Yes.
sitting by? Let me get this straight.
I saw you
you're
at
in
the
Palm,
cabana
you're in
reading
Palm
that.
Beach. It's 82 degrees.
That's
Everyone
correct.
is smiling, drinking pina coladas,
Yes.
and you are reading about rape and pillaging of Native Americans.
Yes, Casey.
Casey, you have a little insight into my brain, okay?
This is who I hang out with.
It is a wild book. But Grit's up next anyway, so moving forward.
Thank God. Can you please finish this book?
Woo! It's a lot. It's a lot. Our history is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and so in recent events that we're all watching on the news, right? This same type of stuff happened in our past.
Right.
You know, history
Right.
repeats itself. It's just different people.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's pretty wild. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Back to houses.
Do we don't even want to talk about what's going on in
No.
our industry.
Oh.
In our industry.
What's going on in
No.
our industry?
Hello?
What? Oh, I'm so excited. This is a great opportunity.
I've been listening to a lot of
yeah.
podcasts, and guess what?
But
Weinstein, Keach, we are a listing team.
we're also a buying team. We
We're
are prepared.
We are a
I
huge
think-
listing team.
I think that stuff's going to get pushed. I think.
What do you
gonna,
think?
I think it's going to be. You see some changes. What she's referring to is the changes in buyer agency. I'm assuming,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
And how the compensation is going to happen and stuff like that, and the fees. And I think that I wouldn't get too worked up yet. I
Okay.
think it's going to continue to
Yeah.
be delayed.
Agreed.
And I think I
Delayed?
think the right people are going to.
Yeah.
I think it'll get fixed.
Well, so in Rhode Island,
Yeah.
they're already offering out zero compensation
Mhm.
on MLS.
In some instances, not in all.
Well,
Yeah.
I got an email because I'm a Rhode Island agent. So
Yeah.
I got an email from our manager in Rhode Island
Yeah,
to let us know.
that it happens.
Right.
It also happens here now.
I think the best way to combat all of this potential change
Yeah.
is to continue to add value to your clients.
Agreed.
And I
Right.
think if you, set
1,000%.
yourself apart from
Which we
the
do.
average person, and I think you're going to be just fine.
We're not
Weinstein
average.
Keach is
No, you're not average. But
equipped
because you
and
guys,
prepared
you guys
to
are
represent
huge
We're ready
value
to
add.
go.
We are equipped. It is an opportunity for us to shine and to show how amazing we are with buyers. Casey, I'm sure you're the same, right? You offer, just like we were talking about, would you refer someone out? And immediately you're like, if I don't know the landscape there, I'm referring them to a local agent.
100%.
Someone who needs to know schools, this, that, whatever, you're going to refer them out to a local agent. That's doing right by your buyer client, right?
100%. Yeah, Casey and I we've been together since 2018. I'd say for the first 3 or 4 years, I would say we're probably 70% buyers, 75%
I was the same.
buyers.
Yeah, for probably the first decade
so
of my career.
We really pride ourselves on the buyer experience and
Yeah.
going above and beyond as
So
knowledgeable
awesome,
as
right?
possible.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one day we hope to be a WK and a listing team. We can't tell you you're gonna have 11 agents working for you at one time.
But the buy side is so much fun.
It is.
It's my favorite part.
100%.
I'm sorry, guys, but I listened to a podcast yesterday and I was a little freaked out.
Got you nervous?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it doesn't take a lot to freak you out, though.
Well, not nervous, but a little freaked out.
Well, I think what freaks people out, tell me if I'm speaking out of turn, is...
Well, it's the unknown, really.
Well, and also, the agents in the office who expressed concern also never had their buyers sign a buyer agency contract. They weren't comfortable with discussing compensation with their buyers' clients.
How do you feel about that?
Do you make them, when you work with a buyer, do you have them sign something that they're...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not like, okay, you want me to take you out, sign this contract? But yeah, we have a conversation. It's always before they sign the offer. Because without the buyer agency contract, they're not authorizing me to represent them. Just like sellers, right? I don't talk about their listing until...
What is the buyer agency contract? I'm sorry.
It's the same thing, the buyer agency contract. So exclusive right to represent a buyer, right? When they sign that, they're authorizing you to represent them, right? Through care, competence. It's your fiduciary, right? Responsibility to represent this buyer. I certainly take that very seriously, just like I would with my seller clients. I don't see it as any different, right? Yeah. So before they write an offer, I say, I need you to sign this because you're authorizing me to represent you. And through this agreement, that's what we do. I talk about the compensation there, that they're not paying that. That's compensated to me through MLS.
Right now.
Right now. Right. But they're not going to be able to pay unless the mortgage industry allows
them to roll it in.
In.
And who knows what's going to happen?
They're not going to pay
We really don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
But it's nothing to be nervous about.
Well, no, it's going to hurt the first-time home buyers if they have to pay. They don't have extra
money.
They're
not going to pay.
And this is the conversation we've had, that they're not going to have extra money to pay us.
They're not going to pay it. They're not. There's no way anyone is going to pay that.
And there's no way, like, if we're going to be on MLS, there's no way the seller isn't going to say... They're going to have to, we have to pay out. We have to pay out a buyer agent.
The biggest mistake a listing agent can make, no matter how important or big the listing agent gets, is not fairly compensated.
Right, exactly.
It's the most short-sighted
Right, so you basically just have to say, seller, I charge 6%.
Yeah.
And they say, fine.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then we pay out.
Correct.
But the thing is, we're not paying out anyone. We get paid from our brokerage.
Right.
Our brokerage is paying us. A seller's never paid me.
Right.
And not for nothing, the seller never writes a check for anything.
Right, nothing.
It comes out of the transaction.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So do you price the house a little bit more?
I don't know. All I care about is I am going to continue to working with buyers. It's my favorite part of the business. Working with buyers and finding them a home. What is more dreamy than that?
Our clients just found the most perfect home.
See?
And they were a needle in a haystack for this house. I told the agent, nobody else is going to buy this house. Nobody except for these clients. They're perfect.
Yeah, so I think there's nothing to worry about.
I don't like to be, I don't know.
Change is hard, but it'll be fine.
No, I've just been listening to a lot of different podcasts. I'm trying to educate myself onto what's coming, and I don't want to put my head under the covers and pretend it's not coming. So I'm just trying to listen to different perspectives.
Could not come. But I think the infrastructure that you've built with your team, the brokerage that you work at, and the partner that you have, I mean,
we're good.
There are people that should be a lot more concerned about the unknown.
1,000.
And anyway, people don't even know what we're talking about anyway.
For us, although a local agent didn't like it when I told them this, but for us, it's just standard operating procedure. So ruling's going to come down, we're going to get trained, and that's it.
Yeah.
Done. Right?
Yeah, if it comes to fruition, it becomes a thing, then you just got to
then I'm not I won't worry about it right now.
No, not to worry about.
Yeah.
By the way,
usual.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I weigh on Friday, but today I'm going to be away on Friday, so I won't have my scale.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to get on. Guess who lost another 2 pounds this week?
Stop it.
What time do you stop? What time do you stop eating?
That is awesome.
So during the week,
I don't think that matters.
I aim for what was happening. We were eating after kids' sports.
Well, no, you have to start.
I'm in the same boat. So I want to hear about this.
Yep.
Whenever you
so
stop eating.
During the week, I've tried to change our family, make the meal a little bit earlier, so that I try to eat around 6:30.
Yep.
And then I'm done. Which I was snacking at night, like eating pretzels, watching TV. Nothing hugely significant. Sometimes maybe, but not as much. So I eliminated that. And then my goal in my app is 14 hours. And if I can go more, then I do.
Yeah.
To 16 is like, that's the golden ticket, right, for losing. But I can't always get to 16. And sometimes it's later when like the other night, or last night, I think it was 7:45 when I hit my app. And this morning I was hungry. I didn't really feel great this morning, so I ate a little bit.
You drink black coffee?
Were you hangover?
I don't.
I do.
Okay.
So I'm doing it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hit the 16 almost every time.
So if you eat dinner at 6, they don't want you eating again till...
Well, but I don't do it that way.
You do it however you want.
I'm out for dinner. And so there was... Jew night last night at Gourmet Garden was off the hook.
Do you go out to eat for dinner often?
Every night.
Casey, you know the answer to that.
Every night.
Anyway, so it was someone's birthday. Actually, Attorney Kamens was there. She's doing it was her birthday. So anyway, they wanted me to have some cake after I sent over 2 Stephanie specials. So the cake wasn't done until after 8. So that's when I pressed. And so I haven't eaten. Yes, I'm hungry, but I just showed Casey I'm on to 16 hours and 31 minutes.
Now, have you tried it?
No, but I need to make a change.
We're going to talk because
haven't
instantly I was clear in the brain in the morning.
Yes, it is. That
Blew
part is
my
amazing.
mind. Like 2 days in, and I'm like, wow, I wake up wide awake, not groggy at all. That was instant.
So you were eating at like 9:30, 10.
So I basically, because I always had the mentality I need to eat breakfast, to eat breakfast. And I would eat breakfast. I really don't need to eat breakfast. Yeah. Sometimes I need to eat breakfast. This morning I needed to have something.
I'm going to say I feel so much better.
So much better.
And yes, the brain fog is like going away. Meredith and I have been working, right?
Yes. Getting so much accomplished. Now, I drink in the morning, I like milk in my coffee. So I have coffee with milk in it. Yep. I'm not giving that up.
Okay. Is that cheating?
At night, I like to have a kettle and soda. Yep. I go fold the laundry. Yep. I watch my show. Yep. I have a kettle and soda. I'm not. And I set my timer. Stephanie said, you have to wait. Nope. I set my timer when I stop eating.
Yeah. Okay.
Drinking. And a girl at my gym.
Kettle soda's 0.
There's no calories there.
70.
Yeah.
70
calories.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Slow your roll.
Yeah.
So as soon as you're done with food.
Correct.
Okay. So you don't count the alcohol.
Nope. And a woman at my gym, she had athletic greens in the morning. She's like, if it was liquid, she's like, I'm not drinking a Coke, but liquid, she didn't count. She lost 40 pounds still. It has to work in my lifestyle. And all she said too was consistency. So you create your program, which I'm still losing. And
that's
I feel
amazing.
better.
I haven't stepped.
And so I just eat during the day and like have my last meal.
Right.
Weekends were a little tougher. And last weekend I did do a later one. And so I went until like 12 and 8 then, and it was fine.
Rick, are you going to do it?
I am.
Yeah.
When are you starting?
Today I haven't eaten.
Wait, what about the 0? Do you have the app?
Okay. No, but I can just stop eating. I can count.
No, but you need the app.
What's the app? What is the app?
I have. Which one do you have?
I use Fast Habit. There's tons of them. It's just a timer, but it's an important one because in the beginning you're kind of like, oh, what time is it? Because you're getting your body used to it, and then it's a competitive thing, right? You're like Stephanie's like, I do 16 hours every single day.
The other day I text Meredith. I go, by the way, I'm up to 21 hours.
That's crazy.
I might as well never eat again.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. It's pretty cool.
I have not stepped on the scale because I don't want to see how much I weigh right now.
Right.
Which was probably a mistake. But when my clothes start to feel better, I'll step on and see what's going on.
You had a pair of jeans recently that fit you, right?
They were tight, but not as tight.
We love that's progress.
I don't feel change, and that's why I needed to.
Oh, you don't?
I'm a big person. I'm probably not going to feel change until like 10 pounds.
I was talking to our manager. She gets on the scale every single dingle day.
I don't want to do that.
That's wild.
That's too much.
During COVID, I put the scale in front of my fridge. It didn't work. We have 1 minute.
Okay.
Do you have any closing remarks?
No, this was great.
Did you guys have fun?
Absolutely.
Was it fun?
Will you guys come back?
Can we do it again? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, we'll do it again. So we'll put you on the schedule.
I have questions for you guys. I want to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll put you on the schedule.
Pauline asked us if we would talk more real estate, so this qualifies.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, we did. We had Angela on. We had Joe Papagno on.
Yeah. Roy hasn't come on yet.
No, he's, No.
Our former manager and loan officer, they came on.
Yes. Yep. It's been great.
You had Mark Rodriguez from Striller.
Oh, that's
I haven't posted his
Oh, yeah,
show
we
yet.
got to post that.
He's great.
He's wonderful.
All right. Well, we have to go.
Yeah, we're going over to Buddy's Unionville to grab some pizza.
Shut up.
We'll see you guys later.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. If Tony eats there, we eat there.
Make sure you look at the placemat. Are you really going? What are you going to get?
I honestly.
Anthony gets the pastrami sandwich. The pizza there is so
You should go
good.
across the street, then go to the beanery too. Go to the beanery after it's across
Fried
the street and
pickles.
get yourself a buzz.
We're going on a tour.
Yeah.
You're going on a tour.
We're going to
Beasted.
Stone Forge.
All right,
after.
have fun. We got to
See ya.
wrap it up.
Thanks for joining
Bye,
us.
guys.